94XO, it's MonneXo. I'm hanging out with Beejay The DJ, and we're going to be discussing the importance of Sister Strut. Make sure you guys stay tuned. You're watching 94XO. Now, can you explain to me what is Sister Strut and what does it represent?
Well, Sister Strut is our annual breast cancer awareness. Basically, what it is bringing awareness to how breast cancer affect the African American community. Most women of color have a 40% death rate than any other race there is with breast cancer, because the breast cancer in the African American woman is more aggressive than any other race as well.
Now, how is it though when people are coming and they're trying to learn about this event? How informed are they about the statistics and whatnot, and understanding like the meaning behind the actual event, and not just saying like, "Oh, I'm going to go walking," you know?
Well, we do a very good job of publicizing it and giving out the information. We have doctors that come on and talk about breast cancer, which we are getting ready to start doing the next few days. We're going to have all over the airwaves about the effects of breast cancer and how it affects African American women. We teach them that early detection is key, because the earlier that you can detect it, the better you have your chances of survival.
Exactly. Now, why is it so important for the community as a whole to know about this event and be a part of this event, and why is it important in the St. Louis community?
Well, that's because a lot of times people don't understand what breast cancer does to our African American women, and they don't realize how aggressive it is.
Yeah.
A lot of people, they all hear it, but they're not paying attention to it. Just like now, since the pandemic, there's a lot of women who haven't went to go get their mammograms.
Yeah.
And people don't understand that breast cancer in African American women can happen at an early age. We know women that are like in their 30s that have had, breast cancer and are surviving breast cancer. We also had a young lady that had stage 0 breast cancer.
Wow.
And she had to have one of her breasts removed because she had stage 0. Now, you say to yourself, stage 0?
Yeah.
I always knew about 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. Never knew about stage 0. And the reason she had to get her breast removed because there were these lymph nodes that were in her breast they were like little pellets all over her breast that could become cancerous. So the preventive measure that they took was to take her breast out.
Yeah, that's crazy. Now, now I really want to tie this into more of like a personal thing with you. So like, how does it feel like being a part of this event for so many years, seeing all these different encounters, meeting all these different people? Like, how do you connect with all of these different women and just people in general that support the cause?
Well, one of the things that when I first heard about Sister Strut myself, I really didn't know what it was. I was just like, we're just gonna go here. We having an event, okay, that's fine. But what happened was when I got to the event, I saw women that I knew that had on the pink, and that represented that they were breast cancer survivors. I even had some relatives that were there, and they had on the pink, and I was like, oh my God. So after the first year, I did a lot of research on, breast cancer, learned, got very, educated myself on the effects of it. And then I decided that, you know what, it shouldn't be women out here, it should be some men out here getting in front of this. And I just chose to be that guy to get out in front of it and let my sisters know, we're here. We men are here.
Yeah.
What you're going through, we're going through. And so for maybe about 9 years of it, right around 9 years of it, I always focused on, the survivor and, you're going, the cancer and stuff like that. Well, in 2019, February, I found a lump on my chest. I thought it was a bump. So I was like, just a little hair bump, whatever. So then, I think around July, I felt the same thing. It felt like a hair bump. I was like, oh, okay. So then we got to like November. I never will forget it. I was laying in bed and I felt my chest, and I felt a huge lump on my chest. And then I told my wife, I said, sweetie, you know, it's early in the morning. Like, hey, baby, can you come feel my chest? And she was like, well, get away from me.
I'm
I'm like, look at her, babe. This ain't the time for you to be flirting with me, all
I'm
right?
being serious right now.
I'm like, yo, check it out. Look, you really need to feel this. And so she felt it. And when she felt it, she jumped up. And I can see the shock in her eyes. And she was like, what is it? I said, I don't know. She said, well, you need to go see your doctor. So I went to my doctor, and I had been going to this same doctor since like 86, whatever, something like that. And for the first time in my life, my doctor had to do a breast exam on me.
Wow.
And so she said, we don't know what it is, so you need a mammogram. And I'm like, you know, in my brain, I'm going,
I'm not a woman.
Right. But men can get breast cancer. So I went in to go upstairs to get the mammogram. She said, you can go up on the 4th floor, you know, all right, cool. I get up there, and the girl says, well, we can't give you a mammogram. You have to have a diagnostic mammogram.
Wow.
And I'm like, what? She said, yeah, you got to have a radiologist to read it when you do the mammogram. I'm like, you have got to be kidding me. So then it took me a month to get the mammogram. So from November to December, my mind is racing.
All right, you stressed.
Right. So then I get there December, take a mammogram. They say the mammogram looks okay. And stop looking at me, because most women, when I say I had to have a mammogram.
I'm taking you all the way serious right now.
They look at me like, how could they do?
I was saying, you're giving us research. Like, we don't know these things.
Right.
These are things we need
But how
to
do
know.
they do a mammogram on a guy who don't have any breast extensions?
So you
I ain't got no extensions,
I
right?
ain't never seen you with no shirt off. So.
I ain't got no type of extensions here, all right? So you know, women, they wait for it, and I go, don't look at me like that, no. So I had to stand there, you know.
And you just making the joke after this.
You know, I'm standing there, and then they press down, you know, machine pressing down. I'm in a little pain, because I ain't got no extensions or anything. But anyway, so after that, they did that, and then they came back and they said, you got to have a ultrasound. So I did the ultrasound. Then they said, you got to come back and you got to do a biopsy. So I did the biopsy. And then after I did the biopsy, you know, that was a month later, because that was in January. And they came back and said everything was benign. And they said, you have to have, you know, you have a choice. You can either leave it there, or you can have it taken out. And I said, I'm not living with this.
Yeah.
No, that's just not going to happen. So right when the pandemic hit in March 13th last year, I had the surgery to have the lump removed. And what I learned from all of that was that it wasn't just about the cancer. It's about what you women go through when y'all have to get a mammogram, and your mental state of wondering if you have cancer or not. So Sister Strut has a whole different meaning for me, because I truly understand what women go through. Every year, a woman has to go get a mammogram.
And it's the fact that you actually lived it and went through it, because, you know, a lot of people don't have to do that. And you see it and you're like, okay, I get it now.
I mean, it's like, I got it. You know, so I understand what women go through mentally during that process of trying to figure out whether you have cancer or not. But I also understand how important it is that you have to do preventive maintenance. You have to go to the doctor. You have to get your mammogram. You have to get checked out. You have to get checked, because if you catch it early, then you have a greater chance of surviving. A lot of times women don't go get the mammograms, and then they end up with stage 4. You know, they like between 3 and 4 because they say they don't want to go. So my push is, although there's a pandemic, you still go. Because I just said, right at the beginning of the pandemic, I went in the hospital and had surgery to get my lump removed. So it has a whole different meaning, but I thank God for, you know, doing that to me, because I realized what my purpose was, you know, and all of that. You know, sometimes you do stuff, you don't know why you're doing it, but then I got the understanding that he wanted me to understand everything about it. Then he wanted to make sure that I use my platform and who I am to be the face and be the voice for Sister Strut.
Yeah. I would say it ties into my next question of how is this year going to be different? You know, last year was virtual. This year it's going to be actually in person.
Yes.
So
we're doing it with a twist. This year we're having our very first ever Sister Strut Parade in downtown St. Louis, October 2nd. We have an official Sister Strut pace car, and it is the coolest thing you will ever see.
So you can't wait to ride it.
Well, I've been driving it all over the place. So, like I said, it's the coolest thing you will ever see, and I just can't wait till October 2nd. And then registration will be opening up real soon. Registration is $35 per person.
Okay.
They get a mask, they get a water bottle, they get a backpack, and they get a T-shirt. So $35 registration, you get all of that. To put your car in the parade, we're not charging for you to put the car in the parade.
Okay. All right.
It's a 200 car limit, so you need to go to sisterstrutstl.com.
Hey, this is going to be interesting. So are you guys needing like volunteers? How is that going to work this year?
Yeah, we're going to need volunteers, and we are looking for people to volunteer. Somebody feel like they want to volunteer, come help out. They can always, we'll have a link on the website saying for volunteers, where you go and who you contact for volunteers.
Okay, and who are some of the sponsors?
The sponsors, of course, is Brown & Crouppen. They are our title sponsor. Christian Business Connection is our stage sponsor. So we'll do that. BJC. We also have St. Louis City Health Department and a host of others who are our sponsors.
Okay. Now, before we wrap up, like, what are you looking forward to the most this year? Like you said, it's a spin on it. It's different. Your situation's kind of like, in a sense, changed your mindset with some things. Your heart got bigger.
Yeah.
So what are you looking forward to the most?
Saving lives. That's the bottom line. If we can get one female to go out and get a mammogram this year, and we save her life, guess what? We've done our job.
Yeah.
And that's what this whole thing is about. It's not about me. It's not about anybody. It's all about saving lives. And anytime that you can do that and you can save somebody's life, I think you can't get any better than that.
I think Beejay tried to make me cry. We ain't gonna do that though. I ain't got no tissue. All right.
Well, you got paper right there.
No, these are yours. So
okay.
You're gonna pick 3 questions from this jar.
Okay.
And you're gonna answer them the best way that you can.
Oh, what did you say as a kid when asked, what do you want to be when you grow up? I literally said a DJ.
Literally.
Said a DJ.
You didn't say radio person. You
nope, just said DJ. I mean, if you go back to Beaumont High School, 1980, now I'm telling my age, yearbook. It's the only yearbook that only has the seniors in there. So we were selfish. But if you look under my name, you will see future plans, disc jockey.
But do you know how dope that is, though, to know, like, because a lot of people, they say they want to be things and they're not. But to, like, know what your purpose was back then and actually, like, follow your dreams and go through it. Like, do you look back? I'm just adding on to the question, but, like, do you ever just look back and be like, wow, like, I did that?
Yeah, I tell people all the time, at the time I was saying disc jockey because that was my passion. And I just felt that was something that it was a gift of mine. I mean, I'm 42 years in the business. 30 36 years on air, straight in St. Louis.
And that's rare.
Unheard of.
Yeah.
Unheard
Yeah.
of, you know. So back then it was like, yeah, I want to be a disc jockey. That was it. But the thing of it is, right now, when I look back, I had an amazing, amazing career, an amazing journey. I did. So I'm good.
I say legendary. Question 2.
Question number 2.
He touching my heart. I knew he was gonna do this. That's why.
What is the biggest lesson you've learned so far?
Oh, you getting some deep questions.
Ooh, Lord Jesus. Well, the one thing that I've learned, especially in this industry, is not take anything personal. That everything that happens in this business doesn't have anything to do with me personally. Mm-hmm. It's just everything is a business decision. Like with all the changes I've had with radio stations, you know, changing names and doing all kinds of stuff, I just look at it as it's business.
Yeah.
Doesn't, you know, I don't own it. I'm not going to argue with you over something that's not mine. Mm-hmm. And then the biggest thing that I've learned is work smart and not hard.
Yeah, I think you was going to say that. And learn how to adapt. Like that's one thing I remember you used to always say is learn how to adapt. Mm-hmm. Deal with it. Learn when to speak. When learn not to speak.
Yep. Because, you know, a lot of people get in this business and, you know, they get a little name for themselves and then they start thinking, oh, it's me. When the bottom line is, it's never about you.
Yeah.
There are 3 things that I always live by in this business. And that is, it's about my city, it's about the people, and it's about the community. Mm-hmm. Those are the 3 things that I focus on. And no matter what happens, I'm still focused on that. And as many changes that has occurred or whatever it has in this business, I've always said, as long as I can take care of my city, I can take care of the people, and I can take care of my community, I'm good.
And that's why you've been in the game so long.
Yeah. Okay,
right.
number 3.
Yeah, you got a last question.
Okay, let me get a stupid.
You said you want a stupid question?
Stupid one or something. What food do you crave more than any other?
I would get the food.
That's a good one. Yeah, peanut butter and jelly.
Peanut butter and jelly? Why?
I love peanut butter and jelly.
It don't make your mouth dry. Peanut butter makes my mouth dry, so I don't like to eat it like that, unless it's like a Reese's cup.
Nope. What you got to do is you got to put the right amount of peanut butter and the right amount of jelly on the sandwich. You'll be all right.
I'm done. He done the whole description. Thank you so much, BJ. I appreciate you. Love you so much. I'm MonneXo, and we're out. Be easy. It's your girl, MonneXo, and you just finished a 94XO interview. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment to our YouTube channel, and follow us on social media platforms. Be easy.